Welcome back, everybody. This is another walkthrough for the Hack the Box Cyber Apocalypse 2022. This is Intergalactic Post. I've already downloaded the files as well as started the Docker container. And so if we browse to it, we get this Intergalactic Post. I am actually already ready to go with the Docker instance, so I'm going to look at that one. So it'll start up on 1337. All you have to do is inside this, you just open your console, get out of all this. And then you can just do the build Docker shell script. And it'll actually bring it up in the foreground if you don't cancel it. I have it in the background right now. So I'm just going to grab this name. I might need it in a little bit. So I have that running, but first I want to tackle the source code. So it's PHP. Here's our index. So it's pretty simple. Index just loads controllers, the models, and then it has a database, temp challenge DB, as well as a get and a post. So subscribe's the only one that we can really do much with. So we'll look at that. Controllers. We have our subs controllers. And we look in here, so we have store and we have log out. So we are able to store, which will get the email field from post, pass that to email, and then it checks to see if it's a valid email or if it's empty. And if it's either not valid or empty, it will give us a false and it will submit a valid email address. Otherwise, it comes down here and we use the subscriber model, which gives us the get subscriber, subscribe, and we had executed the subscribe function. So if we look at that, it just does this get subscriber IP, and then it uses the database to subscribe the user. And so if we look up here, we saw that the email was filtered. This one, it appears to grab the X forwarded for header without it being filtered. So we can utilize that because we have control over that in the in our headers. So that is where we're going to attack. And if we look at this database, we can see that it's not a prepared statement. It's just inserting subscribers into the it's inserting into the subscribers table, and it's just using the IP address and the email, and it's in that order. So you can see that we're using single quotes, and there's parenthesis at the end. That'll come in important later. So let's just go ahead and we can also see up at the top here, I kind of glossed over it. It's SQLite 3, so we know exactly what type of database we're attacking as well. The reason why I have the Docker instance up and running is this is a blind SQL injection. You can see that when we look at the subs controllers, it doesn't care if it fails after actually submitting the subscribe. It's just going to say, hey, is the email valid? And if it is, cool, it will, or if the email is valid, it'll skip this. Otherwise, it will say false. So we're not able to actually do any injection on the email field because we'll just get that automatic failure. But we don't get any type of interaction back from when we actually do the subscribe. So it's all blind. So what I did through this, I just did a Docker exec interactive terminal, specifying the Docker name and then what command you want to run. So in this case, I'm dropping into the bin sh because it's Alpine, it doesn't have bash. Anyways, so one thing we need to do is we need to add the SQLite program. I already had it installed, but it's not installed by default on the Docker container. And then what this lets us do is we could just actually open it up, and we can open our temp challenge DB, which is what was specified inside the source files. We have that, and then we can just kind of dump, which you can see I've kind of been messing with this a little bit. Probably should have restarted it, but whatever. So anyways, I am just going to, I got burp up and running. I have my proxy ready to go. Intercepts on. Just go ahead and send this, test at test.com. And so we'll look, I'll send this over to repeater, and I'm going to see if I can make this a little bit bigger. Never mind. I will just do with that later. So yeah, so we're just posting to subscribe URI, and we'll notice that the X forwarded for is not automatically there. That's something we'll have to put in there. And then we have this email field, which we already saw. We can't really do much with. Basically, it's either a valid email or it's not. I didn't mess with it too much because if we just do this, and let's just do 2.2.2.2. We'll go ahead and send that. See that we're subscribed successfully, and we can come over here to our container. We can do another dump, and we'll see that we now have that down here at the bottom. We got 2222 test at test.com. So now we can start playing with the SQL injection. So looking at how it's doing that insert, you can see that it does that, and then it continues on. So if we are able to create our payload to escape the, well, one, do a successful insert, and then two, we're going to attach a database. So what we're doing here is gotta figure out how to make it zoomed in. But anyways, this is what it looks like. So we have our IP address here, single quote to escape, comma, and then our email, single quote, and then we put in our parenthesis there and our semicolon, and then we're attaching a database and specifying a file and giving it a name. So this I'm just doing, this is the database name. We're going to go ahead and put it in that www directory where our application is running, and it's going to be test.php. So we're injecting a web shell. Then we're creating a table in that database we just created. It's just PHP. It probably could have been a little bit better than PHP, but whatnot. Anyways, so we only have a single column. It's going to be data. It's a text field. Then we're inserting into that table our value of go ahead and get command. And that's all we're going to do. So what we can do now is we'll just copy all this. I'm going to paste this into my header. Oh, and then we're escaping there at the end. Subscribe successfully, and now we can try to cancel, close out a burp, and we'll do our test.php, and we'll see that we get a SQLite format, and we also get some PHP stuff. So we're going to try to access our command, and there we go. See our flag, and we can cat our flag. Technically, if you wanted to, from this point, you could go ahead and get your reverse shell using bash or whatever other stuff's on there. Not ls. So if I update the entire command. There we go. And there's our flag. So pretty easy, pretty cool. Hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good one.